Recorder. Okay. What's up, everyone? What's up, Bailando, in baby, carrot 4? Welcome to my knowledge sharing session of Zama. We're gonna unlock data security with their new tech. And I'm here today to share with y'all about that. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I want to start with a simple questions. That when was the last time you thought about your privacy online? Maybe it was when you got a really specific ad on your phone, or when you heard about a big data breach on the news. For most of us, right? Privacy is something we know is important, but it's also something we tend to take for granted until something goes wrong, right? So let's take a step back and think about how much of our lives are online now. You know, we send messages, share photos, we do our banking, and even talk to our doctors all through the internet. And every time we do, we're sending information about ourselves out into the world. And most of the time, we trust that this information is safe. But is it really? The truth is, our digital lives are more exposed than ever. Companies collect data about us, what we like, where we go, who we talk to. The governments and hackers are always looking for ways to get their hands on that data. And even the best security system can be broken. So what can we do, right? How can we keep our information private even when it's out there in the cloud? And you know, that's where Zama comes in, you know. Zama is still a weird name. Zama is a company that's working on a new kind of technology, right? And they got this something called homomorphic encryption. Now, I know that sounds like a mouthful, but don't worry. Over the next half hour, I'm going to break it down in a way that makes sense. Even if you're not a tech expert, believe me, I'm not myself. So, but before we get into the nuts and bolts of what Zama does, I want to talk a little more about why privacy matters, and not just for big companies or government, but for regular people like the common folks like you and me. Because at the end of the day, privacy isn't just about hiding things, you know, it's about having control over your own life. It's about being able to choose what you share and with whom, you know. All right. So the traditional encryption is the backbone of digital privacy, but it has some serious limitation in today's world, you know. And I want to start with the basics, right? What is encryption? You know, imagine you want to send a secret message to a friend. You scramble the message and using a special code called a key so that only your friend who has the right key can unscramble and read it. This is what encryption does for our emails, bank transactions, and even our WhatsApp message, you know. It turns readable information or plain text into unreadable ciphertext. Only someone with the right key can turn it back. And there are two main types of encryption that you have probably heard about. Asymmetric encryption. Both you and your friend use the same key to lock and unlock the message. It's fast and simple, but you have to find a secure way to share the key. And the other one is the asymmetric encryption. This actually uses two keys, a public key to lock the message and a private key to unlock it. You can share your public key with anyone, but only you have the private key. This is how things like secure websites and encrypted emails work. So what's the problem, right? Like if encryption is so powerful, why isn't it enough? The answer is encryption only protects your data while it's being sent or stored. The moment you want to use your data, search your emails, analyze your health records, or recommendations from a streaming service, the data has to be decrypted. That means at some point, your information is sitting there in plain text, exposed to anyone who can access it. We can look at a few real world examples like healthcare, like hospital encrypt patient records, but when doctors need to analyze them, the data supposed to be decrypted. If a hacker or a malicious force gets in at that moment, your private health information is definitely at risk. Like messaging apps, they got this end-to-end encryption keeps your chat private in transit. But if you back up your message to the cloud, those backups might not be encrypted the same way, leaving them exposed. And one last thing is the cloud services. So when you upload photos to the cloud, they're encrypted during the transfer and while stored. But if you want to edit or search those photos, the service has to decrypt them first. That's a window of, problem. And it's not just hackers, we have to worry about companies themselves all the time. They have access to your decrypt data and they might use it for targeted ads, advertisement, analytics, or even hand it over to authorities if asked. Oh my God, the slide is getting a little bit messed up. Excuse me. Okay, so as technology advanced, so do the threats, of course, like quantum computers, for example, could only like one day break many of that encryption we rely on today. And while the traditional encryption is definitely essential, it's not a silver bullet. It leaves gaps, especially when data needs to be used, not just stored or sent. So we will explore the whole point, like how Zama is working to close the problem and truly secure our digital lives. And Zama is building this technology that lets you use your data without ever exposing it, even while it's being processed. So imagine you're sending a private message, right? Doing your taxes online or something, using a health app, I guess. Right now, even if your data is encrypted while it's stored or sent, it has to be decrypted to actually do anything with it. That's the moment when all the companies, even the governments, could potentially access your information, right? And Zama breakthrough is a technology called homomorphic encryption. I know it's a mouthful, but the idea is simple. It lets computers do calculation on encrypted data. How cool is that? Without ever need to decrypting it. So we can break it down in a simple term. Think of your data as a locked box. Normally, if someone wants to add two numbers inside the box, they would have to unlock it first, right? With homomorphic encryption, you can add, subtract, or even run complex program on the content while the box still stay locked the whole time. Only you with your key can see the final answers. Why does that matter? It means you could use it means that you could use cloud services, AI assistant, your phone, even share sensitive information with your doctor, all without ever giving up control of your privacy. And the service provider never sees your draw data. They just work with the lockbox, and only you and whoever you want can open it and know what you're sending them. And Zama is making this possible by developing tools and platform that make homomorphic encryption practical and fast enough for real world use. Until now, they have this test net. They it's test net right now, and this kind of encryption was too slow for like everyday task applications. And the Zama work, what they're trying to do is changing that, to change that, opening door to a future where privacy isn't just a promise. It's just built into the technology itself. And it's not actually theory, as I know. It's already like changing the way organization handle sensitive infos, and it's starting to impact our daily lives in way like we might not even notice. So I can think of real world examples like healthcare. Okay, let's go from the problem. Let's talk about like healthcare, because that way, that's the only place we deliberately censor sensitive information, right? Because they're doctors. They're trying to cure us, right? So they gotta know all over our body, and that definitely sensitive matters that we don't know anyone else to know rather than the doctors themselves, right? So yeah, imagine a hospital that wants to analyze patient data to find better treatments or something, but they can't risk exposing like private medical records. With Zama encryption, doctors and these researchers can run complex analysis on encrypted data, never seeing the raw information, but still getting the answers they need. This could, means faster medical breakthroughs without sacrificing, patient privacy. That's like gotta be a very good thing. And next that I can think of is finance. Banks and fintech companies, they process millions of transactions every day. Traditionally, this means exposing sensitive financial details to, internal system and sometimes even third-party vendors. With Zama, Zama, is that what they call it? Zama. I think that's Zama. These companies can actually process and analyze encrypted transaction, flagging fraud or like calculating credit scores, all without ever decrypting your personal data. Like they can assess your credit score without knowing what exactly you work, what you do, you know, and your financial life stay private, even as you benefit from smarter, safer services. Like if we hold all of our cryptocurrency in some decentralized exchange, they might know what we're up to. But when banks can offer services like they know that our assets worth millions, but then they don't gotta know exactly what it is. Maybe that's cool, I guess. Well, it's gotta be good. I mean, privacy for banks. Okay, the next thing that I can think of is cloud storage. And many of us use cloud storage for photos, documents, and more. And normally, the cloud provider could access your files if they wanted to. I mean, it's their server. With Zama technology, your files can be stored and even searched or analyzed while still encrypted. Only you can read it. Like your privacy is protected even from the service provider, you know? Smart or okay, another one is like smart devices or phones or laptops or smartwatches. Think about voice assistant, chat GPT, and smart home devices or phone, all that. They collect and process a lot of personal information, I guarantee you. No way they don't take information. I mean, I'm sitting here talking about a specific book or uh, a thing like a product, like going on vacation. Damn. 5 minutes later, I scroll the Facebook feed and there's ads, which is crazy, right? So they definitely take our data for sure. And we couldn't do anything about it. Oh, I'm running out of time from the Zoom meetings. I guess it's fine. All right, last 10 minutes. All right, so with Zama, that's caught me off guard. These devices could process your request locally or in the cloud without ever exposing your voice recordings or personal preferences, keeping your home life truly private. I think of Zama technology it isn't just about protecting data today. It's about reimagining what privacy and trust could look like in our digital life. You know, and what does this mean for you? It means a future where you can benefit from smarter tech, better healthcare, safer banking, more helpful devices without giving up your privacy. You won't have to choose between convenience or security. JAMA is making it possible to have both. So imagine a world where you never have to worry about your personal information being misused, even as you're more online services. With Zama encryption, companies can analyze your data to offer better services, but never actually see the raw information, you know? It could be cultural too. I mean, if people know the data is always protected, they might be more willing to use digital service. I mean, I'm definitely would. I would do that if I know that what I'm doing is safe and secure. I'll buy more things. I'll consume more. I mean, this I think it could like accelerate, innovation in fields like medicines, as for healthcare, also rebuild trust in technology. Oh yeah, the researcher could study health like trend or treatment without ever seeing anyone identity. Of course, like there's challenges. I think there's challenges, of course. I think this homomorphic encryption is powerful, but is currently pretty slower than traditional methods. Making it fast and affordable enough for everyone is a big hurdle. It's gotta be. There's also like regulation. I mean, governments and companies will need to agree on new standards for privacy and security. And as with any new technology, there will be skeptics and those who try to find like loopholes. Still, the potential is huge. You gotta admit that, right? Zama approach could set a new standard for how we think about privacy, not as something we give up for convenience, but as a basic right technology can actually protect. So, what does this mean for you, for us, the common folks? First, it means you can demand more from the services you use or have always been using. Ask your bank, your healthcare provider, or your favorite app. How are you protecting my privacy? Companies that use Zama technology can prove they're not just promising privacy, they are delivering it mathematically. Second, you can support laws and policies that encourage privacy first technology. When you hear about new digital privacy rules, remember the technology to make them real already exists. It's AMA. Third, you can spread, oh my, the word. Tell your friends, like I'm doing now, and family that privacy isn't just a dream for like auto techies. It's something that we common folk can all have right now if we ask for it. So in closing, Zama work is about trust, you know. When you think about it, like imagine a world where you can use apps and shop online or talk to your doctor without ever worrying that someone is reading your messages or tracking your every move. Zama technology called homomorphic encryption actually make this possible. It lets company that it can process our data, our secrets, stay with ours. So, all right. I believe that the future can be private. That is why I made this knowledge sharing session, so I can show you guys that Zama technology could be something big. That's why I enlisted in their creator program, and I think we can learn a better knowledge about privacy and what we can gain from it. In closing, Zama work is about trust. It's about building building a digital world where you don't have to trade your privacy for convenience. And I yet again believe the future is private and it's up to all of us to make it happen. Yeah, us common folks. Thank you for being part of its journey. Let us build a safer, more trustworthy digital world together. All right, guys? Man, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your patience for listening to my yap session. All right. Any questions though? Any questions though? Or do you want to no way, there's a question, bro. Okay, big thing for today. Yeah, thank Lancelot. Thank you, man. All right. I'm gonna end the session now. Is there any questions? In baby by Lando, bro. Namely, what did you think, man? What did you think, Tony? What do you think about privacy, man? Um, or you guys could actually pull up in my real world IRL session tomorrow. I'm planning to make one, but I gotta need like some of you come, right? You're free. All right. All right. Thanks, guys. Phải đăng cái real quick đi. 10 giờ 30 là right now. 30 tháng 7. Ui, sao bật mic hết thế? Thì nó siêu vang nó tắt đi vậy. Ờ, 10 giờ 30 là right now. 30 tháng 30 tháng 7. Đúng. Ui, sao bật mic hết thế? Thì nó siêu vang nó tắt đi vậy. Ờ, ok. Ui, oh shit, oh shit. Ok, nigga, let's go. Ờ, bắt đầu lại này. Phải cứ đến nay giờ mới nên record. Một tí Tony Airy. Yo, what's up, Barry? Yo, hello, sư bạn Hạnh Hợp Liệt, man. Hello, Nhi Nguyên, bro. In baby. Từ từ, tao phải đăng một cái lời mời ở trên Facebook nữa. Oh, shit. Tao phải đăng một cái real quick, nè, nè.